Excellent stuff. Couple of days doing different things, and we're back to chat about life, the universe, and everything from Craig's perspective, obviously. Who else is going to talk about their perspective? I'm the only one here. All right. As usually. Oh, Amelia, you're number one tonight. You can let me do my little singing bowl for you. There you go. Oh, can of Coke. Feel that vibration, everyone. That sound. We're made up of vibrations, guys. I mean, that's why we feel good when we hear certain sounds, certain music. I hope you two have been doing really well. I hope life's been good and positive for you. Everything going well? Everything good? Well, I'm sure it has been going along well. I'm sure it has. Many different things going on in the world right at the moment too. You know, a lot of craziness out there, but again, we want to stay the course. We just want to stay centered with ourselves. The number one key is to stay centered with yourself. You know who you are. Know who you are, and go after the things that you want to do in your life. Not rocket science. I do have a certain topic tonight. That I'm going to chat about. Hello, pigs, no sauce on top. How you going? Don't think you've been on my live before. Would that be right? I'm Craig, mate. This is my YouTube page, Craig's World Rocks, mate, and I chat about lots of weird and wonderful different ways to look at life, mate. Just a very open-minded bloke that has had a lot of different things happening in my life. So I basically am putting out my thoughts around life and how you can, you know, take ownership of certain things that can actually help improve your life as a whole, right? Just through attitude, understanding a lot of things about how life works. You know, I'm a bit of a philosopher, I suppose, in the way I think, but I'm someone that looks at life very much from the perspective of, you know, it's your life, so you need to take ownership of it, and you have, you know, you are the number one person that can transform things in your own life. And most of the things that happen in our lives, in my opinion, pretty much happen unconsciously. You know, they're going on without us really realising we've got any say in the matter. But the reality is that we do have a huge say in the matter. Yeah, that's pretty much it, right? But tonight, and I often talk about a lot of those philosophies, you know, what you put out is what comes back. I go into a lot of that detail in general, but tonight with anyone that's on there, and I say hi to everyone that's on here having a listen. Mr. L Game, how you going, my friend? You know, everyone that's on tonight, you know, I'm gonna center the talk around your actions and what you're doing as an individual to improve your own situation, to get those things happening in your life that you want to get, right? Like, it comes down to your actions. Like, that's when I was thinking about any particular thing that I should talk about tonight in our little live segment. It's really about honing in on what you're doing. What are your actions? How are you behaving when you're out there in your life? I mean, most of us don't want to rock the boat, right? Most of us are happy to go along with the general consensus because, hey, we don't want to make people feel like we're a bit different or a bit weird or, too quirky or too unique. A lot of people seem to think that being that is a weakness or it's negative. I do remember you, Mr. Elgame. Hello, hello, hello. I hope that everything has been well with you. As I say that to everyone that joins. But I want to just really hone down. I don't know where I'm going with this conversation tonight, but I really do wing it when I chat away. But actions are the cornerstone to your own world, right? If you act in a very negative way, if you act in a very poor me type scenario, that woe is me, all that type of stuff, and then things keep happening along those lines from a very low perspective, and you keep having things come into your world that aren't so positive, and you keep going down that path of it always happens bad and it's always terrible, and it's because your actions are sending those messages to your subconscious mind. For those who are unaware, I do believe that our subconscious minds create our own reality, right? How are you, Tyler? Nice for you to come and hang out. Dimitar, how you going, mate? It's a metaphysical concept that each person actually does create their own reality. What you are putting out is what is being manifested. No worries, Dimitar, all good, mate. Don't need to say sorry here. That's the concept, all right? And if that concept is real and that concept is true, as I believe it is, obviously you take what you like, you chuck out what you don't like. How you going, everything I'm doing in my life? long comment there. How you going? If that concept is true, then what we do in our actions on a daily basis is way more important than what people realize. And, a lot of us throw away lines with sarcasm and cheeky attitude and all this type of stuff. But there's something about the subconscious mind that a lot of people just don't realize. The subconscious mind of a human doesn't respond to humor or emotions. It responds to actions. Clearly hey, Cannon, how you going, mate? I hope I've said that right, Cannon. I'm no good. How you doing? I hope that those things improve for you, mate. So welcome to hanging out, mate, because, all right, before I jump into that action conversation tonight, I just want to say to everyone, I believe in the individual. I'm in Melbourne, Australia, Dimitar. I've been an Aussie all my life. I've been in Melbourne, Australia my whole life. So, I'm an Aussie, mate. Oi, oi. How's it going? Chuck a shrimp on the barbie. None of us say that. But we're pretty laid back, all right? Each of you, in my opinion, Houston, Texas, I love it, brother. I love it. Perth, Australia, love it, mate. Welcome to you all, right? My chats are very unique. I don't believe there's too many people like myself having my style of conversation. So, with everything I talk about, and I think this is a philosophy that you should take with listening to anyone, any conversation online or in life, take the things that sit with you, right? I'm not here to make you do exactly what I do in life, but there might be something I say where you go, I like that little strategy. I'm going to take that and use that in my life. Awesome, right? If you take the things you like, you chuck away what you don't like. Everyone's on their own path in life. Life's a journey. That's how I look at it, right? We're all at different levels of learning and understanding. We're all going through our own experiences. They're all unique. You cannot have one answer for everyone. Our answers for ourselves are very unique to ourselves. For me, people need to stop looking outside themselves for the answers to life and actually start to have a listen to what's going on internally, right? A Burn Unging question, yes. Go for it, mate. Ask whatever question you like, right? I'm not a fisherman. No, Dimitar, I'm not a fisherman, mate. But I like the flash, right? Moves very quick. So basically, if what we do, and our thoughts and our comments and the way we act in our life and carry on, if that creates our own reality, don't you think that it'd be worth, once you get to the point, should I say, of really believing that for yourself, then it's about taking conscious control of what you are thinking, what you are saying, and how you are behaving and how you are acting. They're the three keys to manifesting your reality in a much, much more positive way, right? Life is what you make it. That statement to me is very, very, very true, right? I mean, I'm very much a glass half full person. This glass is still over half full. That's nice. Of my water. Glass half full, always looking on the positive side, because I do believe, what's up? There you go, brother. Welcome, orphan, welcome. I believe very, very strongly that we all need to get to a point of understanding that it's ourselves that really need to take charge of our own lives, not just physically, but mentally, and how we project ourselves and how we act and how we feel. You know, a lot of beliefs that have been programmed upon us as human beings as we were kids probably make us not act as positively as we could be, right? Dimitar, you take care, my friend. For anyone that does hang out and likes how I talk about life and is interested to hear more and more things at different times, I do come on live probably 3 times, sometimes 4 times a week. Make sure you do subscribe, because then you'll see when I pop on, and you obviously be able to jump on the live, because I'm not on all the time. I mean, that's not, for me, that's not possible. You know, I've got my family, I work all the time as well. So I do this as something that I, 10 more minutes, all right, sweet, mate. But you know, I do this as something that's a passion of mine. I love talking, I love public speaking. I love talking about things that I'm confident in myself, about experiences, and life to me is a lesson the whole way through. So I've been working and learning from different people over a long journey, a long period of time in my life, and a lot of these things I just want to pass on. So in a live setting, I find that people see the authentic me, and this is who I am, mate. So people like me or they don't like me, right? That's how it is. So hopefully, you know, I do it for myself first, but hopefully, you know, you guys do pick up things that you like. And I appreciate everyone for listening. So I'm going to jump back to my number one focus for tonight, and it is your actions. Your actions in your life are one of the most important things to take ownership of, right? You can't lie to yourself. Have you ever tried to lie to yourself? It's impossible. I'll just switch off one part of my brain while the other brain does something totally different. It doesn't work, right? You can lie to every single person that comes into your world except for you, because you are the most important person in your own world. And being an authentic person is not about saying, I believe in this, or I, you know, do this or do that. It's about your, you know, your honesty, your authentic attitude, that when you say something, you be that. You don't just say, I'm a good person, and then act like a prick. Okay? For those who, hey, Gabs, how you going? Those who don't understand, that's an Aussie, we use that a bit, you know, people that are a prick, you know, they're someone that you don't really trust. And I'm happy to see you back. I know I had Tuesday, Wednesday off, had a few things going on, so I thought I'd jump on tonight, have a yak. And I'm chatting about actions tonight. Just the thought came into my head from wherever. Maybe one of my friends around me have passed on that to chat about that. But, you know, Mr. Blogs, good evening, sir. Have I ever been struck by lightning? I haven't been that lucky, mate. I mean, you have to be really lucky to get struck by lightning because you got more chance to win Tats Lotto than get struck by lightning. I think read that somewhere once. Uh, I do not go fishing, mate. No, I do not, Dimitar. Not my hobby. Not something that lots of mates that go fishing, but yeah, it's not something that I'm big into. I have been fishing, but I don't get into it that much. Yeah, so being struck by lightning, that'd be that'd be a charging situation, wouldn't it? That'd charge you up. My number one hobby for you, Mr. Blogs, is Mr. Positive. Thank you, Roadstrom. How you going, my Queensland fence builder? My number one hobby would be doing this. Like I have friends that we sit around talking about different aspects to life, just diving into different conversations. I enjoy it to a point where I've said, you know what, let's bring this to the world. Let's just put myself out there and see who also likes listening and discussing different concepts about life. And there's quite a few people out there, right? There's quite a few people that are their own little philosopher, right? And I suppose philosophizing is a hobby. Look, I love my natural stones, out in the bush, fossicking, that type of thing. Don't get a lot of time to do that these days. Something that, I'd probably like to start doing more in the future, getting out there and, well, look, that's up to the individuals, mate, right? Like, you choose who you want to be. You choose who you want to be. Tell me that you can't all go, all right, yeah, life's a bit of bit shitty at times, and there's lots of negative shit going on, but you can choose to be the same as that, or you can choose to live in the way that you feel the best, right? We're all the happiest. You're wanting to lift people up rather than knock people down. I mean, I've met a lot of people over the years where they try and become successful by knocking other people off their pedestal and taking their spot in business or whatever. And, what is it called? Tall poppy syndrome or something, where people go around doing that. Very negative people that want to do that, right? I would much rather be a real team player and, get together in a group and everyone comes up together. And that's in business, in life, whatever. It's always been more enjoyable to see other people, as well as myself, achieve things. People around you that are trying to improve themselves and solve things or whatever they're trying to do. I get joy out of that. I get a good feeling out of that other people are achieving things that are making their lives better and making them feel better about themselves. And we do it on a very small scale. A lot of people, like you do it with your small, basically. Oh yes, Orphan, sweet mate. What's this question? I'll come back to what I was saying. That light you filmed and put up online. I saw it around my own areas. Yeah, so I'll explain that for those who haven't had a squiz on my page. I filmed a section of, and I did a few of them, right? It wasn't just like one and done, but I put my iPhone on slow-mo camera, right? Everyone's probably done it. And you film something in slow-mo, I've worked out that it actually makes the object go 6 times slower than it was not a balloon, Roadstrom. It was traveling, that video that shows it zipping through was 6 times slower than it actually moved at. When I was looking at the sky, I didn't see anything. Only when I looked at that in slow-mo did I spot that. Then I froze it at a certain point where you could see the light bouncing off it, which is what you see on the spot that I zoomed in and took a screenshot, joined it on the end. That's fine. You don't have to believe it, right? But I 100% know that was not a balloon. It was not a bug. There's an interesting other YouTuber. I don't know if you guys have seen him, but he's called Casper Sight, and I watched Casper Sight a bit, and he had a extraterrestrial video recently where there was lots of tiny little things buzzing around this craft, and they were moving so fast you could hardly see them. I have had that thought for a while, that if there are alien craft watching us, what if they're moving so fast that we just can't see them? So filming something in slow-mo gives you a better chance to capture something, right? And I reckon I captured something. So believe it or not, right? It's freedom of choice, you know, and I've always been the person that says, you know, I do things to prove things to myself. I can show you, and I'm now putting them up when I get things for other people to see. But you know, if you start to, as an individual, start to try stuff and do stuff, then your belief in something becomes much stronger. And you know, then it doesn't matter about people that don't want to see that, right? Because a lot of the time, people aren't ready to accept something. It doesn't necessarily be the extraterrestrials, whatever, but we have limited beliefs, right? That create our own reality. Our belief systems put the walls up around what we think, right? And how are you, Mr. Lotto? Oh, have you won it? We put these limitations up, and we only allow ourselves to believe up to that point that we limit ourselves. So sometimes it takes a shocking situation or something to shock you to expand on what you believe. But when you see something that's outside what you think is true, that's when, you know, it becomes hard to grasp, you know, for individuals. I've just always wanted to push the envelope, right? If it's real, I've got to find out whether this is a real thing or whether it's bullshit, right? Because I don't want to go through life going, was that possible? Could have I opened something up there? Could have, you know, I haven't experienced everything there is to experience, right? But that's it. That's it, orphan. I mean, you take the ownership of your life on yourself, right? So either you want to know about shit or you don't. And you don't have to, right? I've said it before in my lives. I'll say it again. You know, everyone's already got the golden ticket as far as I'm concerned. We're all beings that actually experience life and learn life because we want to actually understand and see it from different perspectives and expand on how we see ourselves. That's what I think who we are. We are beings that live forever. We're not in our bodies that we're in now. We live individual lives, but we move from one life, finish that one, then we go on and we assess it, and then we decide, do we want to do another one? And, you know, we learn and expand from our lifetimes of experience, the things that we do. We live forever. I believe fully that we've already got that golden ticket of being immortal. I 100% believe that, right? And I believe that because I've been out of my physical body twice, where I've looked at my energy body, you could call it, right? Because that's what I call it. And it was, you know, my arm. I looked at my arm and it was vibrating blue energy in my body. I was sitting up out of my body in my bed this time 30 odd years ago. And I remember it like it was yesterday. The energy and the feeling that I felt about how much energy I had was about 1,000 times more than what you feel as a human, probably more. But it was just wow, right? It was like nothing can destroy this. And I honestly believe that everyone's going to get that feeling when it comes time to move on, right, from this life. But we'll go back into ourselves, who we are. We'll be back into that aspect of ourselves which is more real. I think that this lifetime is a bit more of a learning playground. You know, this is more of a simulation that we've created so we can be human in it. So we're physical, but energy can never be destroyed. Exactly, Mr. Lotto. You are on it, my friend. It was not an acid trip. I was not taking nothing. I did that through meditation purposes. Now, for the others, I know, Roadstrip, I love you, mate. I have no dramas with your opinions. But for the others online, if you want to look into out-of-body travel and learn about it more, there's a book called Robert Monroe. He's the author. Robert Monroe, Journeys Out of the Body. excellent book about that, and an institute in America called the Monroe Institute actually has people go there and study how to leave their body, and they work in that field. So it's crazy, right, that there's an actual university in America that is focused on it. But Robert Monroe is probably the most famous out-of-body experiencer that wrote about his lifetime of experiences. So there you go, Orphan. I'm sure some of you guys might have heard of him, but Robert Monroe, look him up. Really very interesting person, and great books. Journey Out of the Body. That's what it's called. The Journey's Out of the Body. So actions, I'm going to get back to what I was going to talk about tonight, because like our actions, I want everyone to go, you know what? I need to take more ownership of what I'm actually doing, what I'm actually thinking, what I'm actually saying. You can't blame someone else for calling someone a bad name or dumping on someone. No one else but you, if you've done that, is responsible for those things. So if you want to improve what you project, you have to take control of what you project. Yeah? Because what's happening out here is a reflection of what's in here. And you can choose what person or aspect of you want to be, right? So from my perspective of Craig, there's infinite pathways to choose to go down. What version of me do I want to be? What version excites me the most? When am I getting the most excitement about thinking about doing that or bringing that particular passion into my life? You've got to follow your excitement, right? You want to keep positive and moving in that direction that opens your world up for the better, so that you can have the greatest experience that you can possibly have, being Craig, being Mr. Lotto, being Orphan, being Roadstrom. You want to have the greatest experience for you. Go after the things that make you feel awesome, right? Your passions in life, your things that just bring you that excitement, because your energy's like through the roof. You don't need to take any type of man-made drug to get a quick high. Live your passions and you will stay high. And then when you stay high, I believe in that vibrational sense, you connect with a different part of your mind. You open yourself up to other abilities that human beings possess, but they're only open when you are high, when you are feeling high and positive, right? Not high, when you are feeling, excited and buzzed and high, right? So there's no other way to put it. Your vibration, you got to feel good about yourself. You got to feel good about what you're doing, because that's when I think it opens up that connection to a lot of the mind that science says we don't use, that just sits there and it's not doing anything. I think there's so much more about the human being that we just don't access, that we haven't been able to access to this point. People that meditate a lot, their vibration comes up because they feel connected with life, and feeling connected with life lifts your vibration also. But the simple thing for people to do to get that momentum going is to remember and do exactly what you love to do, whatever that is for you. It's individual to you. It's one of the reasons that I started to do this, because I was like, I love public speaking. I love talking about weird and wonderful shit, right, in life. I love getting people interested in it. So let's do it. And I feel really good while I'm doing it, right? Regardless of whatever everyone's talking about, it's good for me. And so that's my number one initial thought. Yes, I'm very happy about the fact that other people are getting stuff from this and they're stepping up their own ladders as well. But for me, that's why I do it. It's the number one thing everyone should be doing, going after the things that you really enjoy in your life, right? And adding more of them in. I mean, if you want to live your life like it's like you're on a high every moment of the day, only do things that you love doing. I know that we do some jobs in life that we do because we think we need to make a certain amount of money or whatever it is, and we do it because we're supporting the family and we think that's the only way we're going to do it. Mr. Lotto, you are always welcome, mate, to hang out here and chat with me, because I'm building that family up, mate, and I think that there's a lot more of us out there that are like-minded in this space, and that's the other thing that I'm excited about, right? That we can come up with ideas together and do a lot more things as we go forward as a group, right? Because positive, like attracts like, yeah? And I want to attract more people that want to be focused up here. I don't, we're not going to attract we're not going to attract people that are down low and want to experience negativity. I get the odd troll on here that's trying to knock you off your pedestal, but really it'll make no effect on me anyway. They're just wasting their breath. But I want people to feel like this is a group where, and there's a lot of people on here. I mean, my goodness, right? I'll just backtrack for a moment. Like when I started these lives, they were in December last year. I only started doing lives, and I'd probably had my page going for 12 months, maybe a bit longer, just posting different videos that I thought were interesting, and some were good and some were bad, but right. But I had about 150 subscribers to that point in 12 months, and I thought that's pretty good. There's a few people out there that are interested. But then in the last, what has it been, nearly 3 months doing lives, I mean, we've just about hit 500 subscribers. So I think doing a live definitely allows people to see the authentic me, and then we can have these conversations. I think a lot more people are keen to have these genuine conversations, right? You messed up the message. Don't worry about it, man. What is it here? What'd you say? I'm going to read it. Hang on. ME50. Great advice, Craig. Something I've started working on since you and bringing good attitude into something as small as talking enthusiastically. Mate, awesome stuff. ME50M. Let's put it this way too for you, right? Doing those little things in a day, when you want to achieve a goal, and it might be like, I want to get to this point and make this much money every day. You can't just suddenly make that much money. Often you've got to do lots of little steps to achieve that, right? And that's what it starts with when I talk about bringing your vibration up, understanding that what you put out is what comes back. Start with interacting with people that you normally interact with, talking more enthusiastically to them, and then see how they respond. And I'm excited to see that you've started that, my friend. So keep it going. It's the beginning. But it's bloody exciting. It's bloody exciting, right? I love those little realizations that people get for themselves, because once you do empower yourself, no blockage, no negative belief, no nothing can take that away. You've empowered yourself with the truth of your reality. And that is just like, for me, that's like I'm giving back there, because I speak about my first mentor, Cheryl, and she helped open me up from a period of life when I was younger, where the disconnection was getting to a point where I was like, fuck life, right? I'm not a puppet. I'm not no one's puppet. And that's what I thought up to about 21, that what was the point when I don't have a say? And I speak my truth now today, because I'm not worried about what's been done in the past. And yeah, I could have started doing this 25 years ago, but everything has come to now where I'm doing this. And anyone that suddenly starts to realize that, hey, it does work, what I say actually affects things and in a positive way, that makes you want to be more positive to everyone, because you realize it actually works. Gator, how you going? Welcome, my friend, welcome. I hope everything's been going well for you. I started a bit later tonight, about 8:30, but that's all right, not the time crunch here. I hope your day's been going well, mate. I've been focusing tonight about the actions of all of us, like paying attention to your actions, just looking at it from that different perspective of saying, how are you acting on a moment-to-moment basis? Like, take it down really simply. When you're around family or around your best mate or whatever, are you being attentive in how you're noticing what people need, or are you talking a little bit more positively to see if that lifts things up naturally in the conversation? When you interact with people out there in the world, are you being more thankful, more grateful, more appreciative of what they do for you? Even if you're paying for something and they've gone out, I'll just get that for you. They do something little. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And you can, even if they don't say anything, when you act like that, you'll often notice just that extra smile come from a person. Their vibration is lifting, right? Mr. Lotto, you are very appreciated, my friend. You might be, I don't know if anyone else has subscribed because I can't see it when I'm on the live, but I was 9 shy of 500 tonight. So I was like, I wonder if I could get 9 on a Thursday night. We shall see. But thank you very much, mate. And look, you are always welcome here, my friend. And I'm very much like Mr. Rodstrom says all the time, Mr. Positive. You know, if you have someone that's, people that are in your life that are very disconnected and you think, geez, you know, maybe they need to just have a listen to someone that's a little bit gets a little bit more about finding connection. You know, I'm happy to have them jump on and have a listen to me, man. It's no stress, right? People can choose to hang out, just have a listen. Maybe they'll get something that'll help click them into gear, right? So, we're all the same family, right? Every single human on this planet, every single thing that exists in this reality, we're all one. We can't ignore anyone. Anyone that wants help, that wants to listen, that wants to understand something or look at things differently or just have someone that they can lean on at times, we should do that, right? I know there's a lot of hate in the world, but hate is the ultimate disconnection with what reality actually is. You know, hate is what controls, hate and fear is what the governments of the world and, you know, the religious groups of the world, they've used that energy to basically control all of us for thousands of years. We're all connected. That's right, Mr. Lake. We are absolutely all connected. And, you know, and why I just touch on the religious thing, I don't have a problem with someone being religious. I don't have a problem someone being in the government, all right? Because these are organisations that if you're an individual and you want to be in that space and you're getting something from it and you're learning from it, fine, that's your choice, that's your path. I'm saying there are other ways to look at life. There are other ways that we as individuals can embrace our lives and, you know, being connected with who we really are, that everything in this world has come from the same place. We are all existing together. Rivers, trees, food, you know, people, you know, different races, that's right. All that, everyone is family. Everyone, right? There's no one that you should feel bad towards. We've all come into this world as babies or even animals and, you know, trees that have grown from little tiny, but we've all created, something's been created here that exists. That existence, we're a part of that. We're a part of that existence. You know, it's stepping back from your life in your body, stepping back and imagining yourself floating in the atmosphere or floating outside the planet and looking at the planet and going, I'm part of that. Right? We're not this small. We're this big. Screen doesn't go that far. So we are a part of everything. We are not lesser than anything or anyone, and we are not greater than anything or anyone. We are all one. That's why I look at my term for everything in existence is all that is. We're part of the all that is. Because when you start putting in the God, goddess, or God, or whatever, it can take on religious connotations to people, and it confuses how people see what you're talking about. And I see life force energy of existence as all it is. We are it. We are a part of it. And we keep creating and expanding and learning and understand ourselves from our unique perspective. We are unique sparks of love and light. That's how I see it. We are existence. Consciousness never disappears. Consciousness is forever. So, you know, you think, therefore you are. All right? And that's how I see it. It's fantastic, mate. You probably look at a lot of the things I look at times when I've got not too much to focus on. I love listening to the NDEs. You know, for those who aren't sure, that's near-death experiences of people where they've, you know, what's really funny to me is a lot of the ones that say they see someone or a religious figure, it's 99% of the time it's because they've been brought up religious and that's what they expect to see. But people don't always see that. Depending on what they believe is what they create when they have an NDE. You create your own reality. There's no limitations to that. There's no particular entity you need to see. Like, we are life force energy. We are existence personified, right? We go on. We do not stop going on. We expand ourselves when need be and we shrink back when we need be, but we always exist. It's and the energy that I felt within my own being when I partway separated from my physical body many years ago was unbelievable, and it was enough for me to know that I go on, and that's what I did it for. I wanted to know whether it was real or not. You know, someone can tell you something, yeah, it's real, and all these people are doing it, but until you do it yourself, you're not really going to believe it fully. That's the reality of it, right? Like, always be skeptical, guys. In life, it's important to be skeptical. What happens if you're not skeptical? You're gullible, and you get very confused. You haven't heard my out of body experience, Lotto? I'll say it again for you, Mr. Lotto. All right. So many years ago, when I first started, when I first found my first mentor, and I found the understanding of individuals create their own reality and can have total control on their own lives in that sense. I was also made aware of an experience called out-of-body experience, or OBEs, that were real. The first time I heard it, I thought, that sounds crazy. Isn't that when we die? And the lady that ran the circle, Cheryl, her name was, she said to me, look, she said, yep, that's an OBE. That's the OBE you don't come back from when you die. But people do practice separating from their body. And there's a belief that every time you go to sleep at night, you naturally come out of your body, but you don't consciously remember it. So I was like, okay, and I said, can people do this? Can they learn to do this consciously? And she said, I believe people can. She said, there are books on it. So I had a birthday coming up. One of my mates that was going to the circle at the time when he was going through his own stuff, he bought me that for my birthday and bought me this out-of-body experience book. And it was a black and green book. I can't even remember the name of it. But there were 10 techniques in it. There were 10 ways you can bring on an out-of-body experience. And I read through the examples, and one of them was called concentration of will. And I've always been pretty good at holding one thought in my head and repeating it over and over again. That might sound easy, but it's not as easy as what you might think. So remember how I said, if you think things and you speak things, your subconscious mind then creates the things that you're saying and doing, right? It's the same thing with an out-of-body experience, I believe. When you think something over and over and over again, you are sending a message to your subconscious mind, I want to do this. So if you want your energy body or your real body to separate from this physical existence you're in now, so that you can experience yourself without the physical for a while, you need to separate, right? And the process was, or the idea was, you laid down, you relaxed yourself, you made yourself like a relaxed state, so you breathe for a while, slowly relaxing yourself, and then in your mind, you would start saying things like, I want to leave my body, I will leave my body, I want to leave my body, I will leave my body, and I would lay there in this relaxed state of consciousness, saying it in my mind over and over again. And you were supposed to do this until the first stage happened. The first stage was when you felt vibrations happening within your body. So inside your physical body, you're laying there. It took about 2.5 weeks before I had the first experience, because I would get to a point, you get very tired and you'd fall asleep because it was night time when I was doing it. So it was hard to hold that awareness and consciousness constantly. So after about 2.5 weeks, I did the technique again. I was very driven to do it, and I was doing it, and then all of a sudden I started to hear this sound in my ear that was in my head. It was like a wah, like it was like a vibration, but it was like a sound that was wobbling first. And then as I kept saying I will leave my body, the sound went to a point of me, where it finally went beep, and it was like a bloody flatline sound where it's beeping. And it's just like the vibration is that fast that it's like not shaking anymore. And I felt inside my body there, the whole body started to shake, and then really finely shaking. I could feel it shaking, but my physical was dead still. Now, the book had said when you feel these vibrations get to that point of sound and it's that fast that you don't sense it as much in the shaking, that's the point where you can separate from the body. Now, the funny thing about the book I was reading from, it didn't tell you how to step out of the body. So I thought it would just happen, right? So I've got this vibration going on, and probably for about a week, I'm like, I get to that point of the vibration, I'm like, okay. And I'm laying there with my arms lifted, I'm trying to lift and my physical arms lifting, I'm going, damn it, in my head. But then I get distracted because I'm starting to think and go off tack with my thoughts. So I was holding this vibration. In the end, I was just holding it for a very long time. And this one particular night, I reckon it was about halfway through of doing this every night, I lost my consciousness like I'd fallen asleep, but it was like for a split second. I don't know how long I lost my consciousness for, but then bang, I became aware again. So I'm laying there and it's vibrating, and I'm saying, come on, leave your body, leave your body. And then I lose my consciousness, and then bang, my consciousness comes back. It felt like a split second. But then I realized something was different when I came back. I came back and I was like, wow, I'm feeling pretty good. And I looked down, and I looked at my arms, and I looked at my chest, and I could see I was just blue vibration. It was electric blue, fair income electric blue. My energy was that color, and it was everything was vibrating, right? I'm like, whoa. And I felt this feeling of being like just energized, like I was powerful. Like that's all I can say. I know it sounds crazy, but I felt like I could do anything. And then I've realized I'm not in my body though, am I? Like what? And I look around, and on my bed, the top half, I was sitting up with my energy body half out of my physical. My top half of my body, I was laying there with my head in the pillow, just on the bed, the physical body. And I'm sitting up out of my body. And then once I saw my body laying there, my first thought was, how do I get back in my body? Holy shit, will I be able to get back in my body? Because I didn't remember reading anything about that. And as soon as I shit myself and worried about how do I get back in my body, straight away I was back in my body. And what happened is I'm in my body, and then all my body was pins and needles, all pins and needles. And then after about 2 minutes, it settled all down, and then I was back and I could move, and everything was fine. Did that twice in my early 20s. And I didn't push or try and go any further because with myself, and that was just my decision, but I was like, well, I've proven that life goes on. I don't really understand it that well, and I thought, I don't want to push the envelope, right? Where there become a point where I go and then no one knows why I died, right? So, yeah, I've carried that through my life, that experience, those couple of experiences, and it's real. Like one life, we do not just live one life. I can 1000% say we live on. There's no one waiting there to say, you get to live forever now because you've been a good boy. No, you do live forever. You experience what you experience. Life doesn't mind what you do, but when you work from your heart, when you're authentic, when you're genuine, you want to learn things in a positive way, because a positive attitude and vibration opens up accesses other knowledge and abilities that we can't access when we're playing around in that swill of life when we're being negative with everyone. Yeah, I know. Like, and there was a lot of fear. There was a lot of fear, my friend. There was, it just comes over you, right? And I've read Journeys Out of the Body, which is Robert Monroe's book on getting out of your body. And he said that the fear barriers are the first steps. You have to break past them if you want to experience more about where you can go and what you can experience out of the body. And I know there's a lot of people that would have done further traveling and tried different things, but for me at that point in my life, I wasn't interested in doing that. I was really just wanting to know that there was more to life, that we did exist and we went on. And, it was something in me, I think, that I had to actually prove, because there was a part of me that was worried that this was the only life that we lived. And why the hell would there only be one life? I mean, what about the babies that come into this world for bloody 1 week and then they die? Is that the only life they get? That doesn't seem right. That seems ridiculous, right? Thinking logically about all these things kind of helped me to lock them away. But yeah, when I had people saying that it was real, but if you want to really prove it, you got to do it yourself, and that's it. The things that I believe, and I've done it for me, right? First and foremost, you got to do things for yourself. You've come into this world by yourself. You'll live this life, as you as the center of it, and you'll leave on your own. You're not leaving with the other people you care about. They'll leave when their time's finished themselves. We all decide when we start and when we finish. You can change those things as you go along. I know it's all movable. I know that. But at the end of the day, each individual's in charge of their own life. No one has the right to control anyone else. But giving the power back to the individual and the power to the people, as John Lennon used to sing in the 60s, right? I think that's happening. I think people are starting to take their power back. And I, for one, want to be someone to do my bit, right? I'll be my authentic self. I'll exist in a way that shows that I'm taking back my power. I'm going to live the way that I want, what I'm most excited to live like. And hopefully that inspires other people to do the same for themselves. But you all find your own pathway, right? I mean, life is the journey. The journey is the excitement. It is the reason we're here. We love to experience life. This is one way that we love to experience life. As human beings, we get to experience life in a very physical, mattered place. This world is amazing. And if it is a simulation, which I believe it is, that we've created, it's a pretty awesome simulation, right? Like it's very real. But change happens every moment of existence. Change happens. How do I know that? Because we're all deteriorating. We're all getting older. Every moment of every day, we change. Our physical bodies change. The molecular structure changes. The world, if you had a world that was real, that we wouldn't deteriorate. We would be in one form all the time. But change happens constantly. This is a place of change. Embrace who you are now. See where you want to get to, and follow the yellow brick road, right? Think of it like this, and I threw this out on Monday, I believe I said this is an analogy. You know when you get your maps out in your phone and it goes, you are here, right? You have to know where you are now to actually get anywhere. If your phone, the Wi-Fi is not working and it can't locate where you are, it can't show you it can't connect you with where you want to go to. It's the same with transforming yourself in life. You have to know who you are now. You have to accept and know yourself now. Warts and all. Positive, negative, neutral. Who you are, not hold on to anything. I'm here. I've done the best I can to get to this point. And now I want to add this into my life. And this, I would have to do this to become this aspect of myself. So you know where you are, you know where you want to go. then it's easy to see what will connect the two, right? What do you need to do to make the new you come into reality? And when you start to do a few of those things, let's say you want to, let's say you want to fly planes, right? Well, you need to start taking lessons then, don't you? Let's say you want to be a train driver. Well, you better start finding out about getting a job as a train driver and what type of experience you need to do that. If it's a passion that you've always wanted to do, find out, believe in yourself, know where you are, and then what you need to do to join the dots. And then start those things. And then you don't put any real limitations on nothing. When your actions start showing this is the new way that I want to go, this is what I want for myself, I'm doing these things because I want more of these things, your subconscious sees you doing it and says, right, you want more of that? I'll start creating more opportunities in that space. And the first step is the most important, and it's always the hardest. It's like stepping off into the pool, right? When you know it's going to be cold in that pool or in that river, getting in there, it's hard to get in there. But as soon as you break the water level, it's beautiful when you're in, right? So believe in yourselves. That's all I can say to every single person. Believe in yourself, believe in what you want for yourself, and that allows you to take that step. Because the passion that you have for a particular aspect of yourself or that drives you, that's the thing that's going to step you off into that new aspect. It's the passion. Yeah, you can only really change easily when you're going after something that is truly from the heart, that is truly a passion of yours. Because then you'll want it that much, you won't be able to stop yourself. I really want to be doing that. It's a passion that comes from the heart. It has its own energy. It's like when you do something that you love doing, you don't need to find the energy to do it. You wake up in the morning, you say, oh, I love my job. I'm going. I love doing that. I'm up and about. The energy comes. When you've got a job that just drains you and you hate it and you say it all the time, it's hard to get out of bed for that job and it won't last long, right? It's pretty much that type of concept, all right? Think about who you are. Think about, accept where you are. You've done the best you can to get there. Accept who you are. Remind yourself of where you want to be, who you want to be. Get a clear image. Find your passions again. Think about what you're into when you're a kid, Mr. Lotto. If there were things that you loved when you were a kid, just something that was in you. It wasn't about other people. They're the things you want to reignite. You've come into this world with certain ideas and things you want to go after. Sometimes we need to remind ourselves what they are. And if you truly start to go after a passion in life, you'll be amazed at how fast things transform and get you going in that direction, because it's the direction that your subconscious wants to go in. It keeps sending messages to say, why don't you do this? When you feel, oh, I really love to do that, but I don't really have the time because I'm doing this shitty job that pays the bills. And, well, why don't you take half a day and just try and start doing that? Because the things that you get excited about, they're the things that energize you in life. They're the things that make you want to live. That's the connection. Actions, everyone. Start actions. We're living in a physical world. Yes, it's a world that we can manipulate and create and change for the better for ourselves. We can change our world for the worse too if we don't stick with that positive mind, right? But you create your own reality. You decide what you want to have happen in your life. So remind yourself of the things that you love and put it out there. Think about them, speak about them, start to do some actions towards those things, see what opportunities get created, because don't put any limitation on it either. Be open. Be open. Like, it can happen anyway, but if you be open about, I don't mind how I go about doing this particular thing, I just want to be doing that. And then the universe and your subconscious will go, well, quickest way to have that right now is boom, and then an opportunity comes along. And be very open, just be very open to all opportunities in those spaces. Work from your heart, boys and girls. Work from your heart. And you won't go wrong. All right? Life is what you make it. Make it good. Can't be any clearer about that. You know, and we've all made life shit at different times in our life, right? Thanks, mate. Well, it's one of my passions, right? So I enjoy a chat. But yeah, they're things that I believe and they're things that I understand. And, you know, it's important, I think, for people that want to get it happening, get that life happening in the way they want, just to know that they can, just to know that that they can change things for the better for yourself. You can all do it. And I'm testament to that, right? Honestly, there were times in my younger life where I could have pulled the pin, right? Because I thought that I was just a puppet before I was woken up to the fact that I'm not. I'm the person that's in charge of my life. There's no beings that are going to make anything happen to you. You are part of the all that is. You are as special and perfect as every single other being in this great wide universe. And the faster we wake up to this, the more amazing our lives are going to become. And I do believe, hand on heart, that one person can change the world, right? Be the best version of yourself you can be. Don't worry about all the negative that gets thrown at us out there by the media and all the stuff going on. I mean, there could be one bad thing happen on the day and they'll show it 50 times on TV. You remember, you create your own reality, and I believe these organisations actually know that. And so when you're seeing that negative image 50 times, you start to create that and think, geez, isn't the world bad? But the world is not bad. The world is awesome. The world is magnificent. And we need to take control of that. One individual at a time. One person can be a positive person. One person can change their own life. Inwardly focus on you. Feel good about you. Be good to yourself. Speak really well and really optimistic and really positive to everyone that comes into your life, because they are a reflection of you. And you will find, as you do that more and more, that will change. You will start to get more people coming in saying positive things to you, and you won't have to say anything but, oh, thank you so much. Oh, well, that's great. You know, even when I go through a drive-through to get a coffee, thank you so much for that. I appreciate you. And they go, oh, thank you. Have a great day. And I know it's crazy, but you start to look at life in those really smaller fragments, that every single little experience is just probably even more important than the big stuff. Because it's like, I know I mentioned coffee then, but it's like when you have an experience. Let's say you sit down to drink your coffee. Don't be distracted. Enjoy the coffee. Sip the coffee. Taste the beans. Taste the creamy cappuccino on top. Experience the experience fully. Immerse yourself in these experiences. It takes you to a level of understanding about life that brings you so much more joy, right? It's the inward that is the answer. It is not the outer, it is the inner, right? You need to go into every situation as you need to go into yourself. You individually have all the answers for you, right? You have the answers. We all have the answers for the path that we're on ourselves. So really be good to yourself. Really be good to others around you, because they are reflections of you, and your reality will transform in the way that you want. More love, more abundance, more joy, more experiences, more positive experiences, right? There you go. I feel like I've said some positive stuff tonight. How about that? Oh, we all still listening? Have I put people to sleep? No? Oh, thanks, man. You are a champ. I hope that, it sounds like you're starting to have some really good experiences, my friend, and trying a couple of these little techniques, because it's like everything, right? I mean, um, once you experience something and you prove it to yourself, no one can take that away. And I'm excited to hear that there's some positive stuff going on. So keep it up. Dive into your life. You know, dive into the experiences. Thank yourself regularly, right? You're doing the best you can do, yeah? Like, there's no expectation in life. There's actually you don't have to get anywhere to achieve a goal, to be given anything. You have it all. You have it all. You are it all. No matter what all these institutions are saying. They're making it small, right? They're making, oh, you've got to fit into this box. You've got to fit into this box. If you don't fit into this box, you'll be outside the box, and then bad things will happen to you. You must accept this box of rules. Your life is your life. You are open. You are everything. You are more expanded than anything can be in this world. Yeah, don't let if someone ever says to you, you better do that or else bad things will happen, red flag, see you later. Because that's control, right? In relationships, in organizations that are trying to get something out of you, they often will throw up something positive and then say, but if you don't do it, this could happen, to force you to engage with what they want. It's a form of direction in misdirection almost. But anyone that isn't working from the heart is trying to control. And the control in the world is being ripped apart now. The only person that you need to worry about being in control is you. Do what's inside yourself. Do what's right for you. And life will keep transforming for the better. Like, it just will. There's no rules except be good to yourself and be good to everyone that comes into your world. You know, be the best version of yourself you can be, and enjoy yourself, enjoy your life, do the things that bring you the greatest joy. You know, do your passions, do your hobbies, do things that you're excited to do. This is your life. This is the only life where I'm going to be Craig in. The next life I might be Harry, who knows? But I want to make the most of being Craig. And I think all of you need to, you know, you're looking at your life, you want to make the most of this life you've got, right? But be happy that this is only one small segment of the puzzle of existence, and we're a part of it. We exist. We're unbelievable, you know. We're not bad people. We're fantastic, perfect beings, and we keep growing and discovering and expanding, and you know that's exciting to think like that. So, guys and girls, I'll wind it up for tonight. I want to thank you all for hanging out. For those who have hung out, those who have subscribed, I'm very thankful. We will continue to join you guys and talk about life. And you know, if things go on in your life, and you want to ask me questions at any time, know that you can. Right, you can always throw questions out to me, and I'll give you my opinion. I mean, again, always take what you like, always chuck out what you don't like, right? And always be a bit skeptical about everything you listen to, because there's a lot of people out there trying to control people for different reasons, and any control now is really, it's just no good. It's just old school, and like I said, anyone that's trying to control a situation and others is actually working from their negative ego, and they're trying to hang on. They think that's the only way to be, and it's not even close to the truth. You know, you don't have to, it's like a relationship, right? If you're in a really good relationship, you don't have to control anything, because you both want to be there. You're naturally drawn to each other. The more someone tries to hold on to someone when things aren't going well, the more they push it apart. So allow yourself to enjoy your life, and be the most positive person. Like attracts like, and then you'll bring more positive people into your life, and you'll just naturally, your vibration lifts, your life lifts. All right. Life is awesome. Let's stay half glass full. ME50, my friend, you take care of yourself. I'll be back on in, probably won't do Friday night, but I might jump on Saturday evening and have a chat. If you're around or you see me jump on, whatever. If you ever want to ask a question, you can always whack on one of my YouTube videos there and just chuck up, because I look at when the messages come up, I see them. So if you do have anything going on and you want my advice on something, feel free, right? And I will give you my answer in the quickest time that I can, all right? But I keep an eye on it all, so I'm enjoying myself doing it. I appreciate all you guys for hanging around tonight, and we will see you on the next one maybe, all right? So remember, Craig's World rocks, but so does yours. So let's make everything awesome, all right? Thank you, my friend. Thank you, everyone. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you soon.